Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healing Connections podcast. I'm your host, Emmy Vadnais, and today we are talking about the myth of meditation. We all know that there are so many great benefits to meditation, the physical benefits for helping lower blood pressure, helping lower heart rate and our breath, and helping us feel more calm in our physical body and our minds, and so many spiritual benefits as well. For our mental health, and the list goes on. But I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the myth of meditation, that often when people start embarking on a meditation practice, invariably what they say is often, I'm not a good meditator because I can't get my thoughts to stop. And that's really the myth of meditation, is that people come to it thinking that you're going to stop your thoughts. And that's not entirely true. What can be true with meditation is that you can slow down your thoughts. The quality of your thoughts may change. You may shift from the various perceptions of your thoughts to perhaps from a very maybe narrow focus to a more holistic or a bigger focus. You might be able to come more closely to your intuition, rest more in your heart, come down from those thoughts of judgment and fear and projections onto others, and to settle within. So it's really a myth that we stop our thoughts. We can actually change the quality of them, and we can perhaps even open up to something greater than ourselves, or maybe that is ourselves, the greater aspect of ourselves. And so if you're just beginning, or maybe you've had a meditation practice for many years or several decades, to know that as you allow yourself to sit in that meditation, whatever meditation practice you're using, that it might take a little bit of time for those thoughts to settle. It's sort of like the mud settling from the water in the mind, which is a quote from Lao Tzu. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? This is a great quote. And this really is, I think, for me, really captures the essence of what can happen in meditation, because the mud in our mind are all of our thoughts, our emotions, our worries, our concerns, our memories, our projections into the future, our desires. And some of those are very legitimate and necessary in life, but they can cloud our thinking. They can cloud how we feel. They can cloud our energy levels and how we go about with our daily activities. And so if you can really come to meditation from that perspective of allowing that water to become more clear, for the thoughts to slow down, to connect more with your heart, with your intuition, that you're going to have much more success with your meditation practice. If you come to it from a perspective of trying to make those thoughts stop, I pretty much guarantee you they're just going to continue to whirl around for you, and you're going to become frustrated. And that's why a lot of people stop meditating right out of the gate. And it can be really helpful to also have a meditation teacher. I do mention in my intuitive development book, I've got many different techniques in there, which is also mirrored in a lot of my free YouTube videos that you can check out. I know there's lots of different recordings out there to check out. When I'm first teaching people how to meditate, of course, there's different schools of thought, and by all means, go with what you are gravitating toward or what is interesting you, because that's likely something that you'll be more successful with. But when I'm first teaching people, I like to connect them to their breath and just do a couple abdominal breath techniques, diaphragmatic breathing, So the abdomen comes out when you breathe in and comes back toward the body when you breathe out, which can help you to get a more full breath. It helps the diaphragm muscle that's below the rib cage drop down. So you're actually getting more air into your lungs, which can also help shift the physiology and help the homeostatic balance come into the mind and the body. And then I like to help people go through a progressive relaxation, which I also have on YouTube. I have both of those, the abdominal breathing and a progressive relaxation. And a really simple way to begin kind of going inward and just kind of pulling away from the senses, from the world, is to engage in a special place imagery, which is really like going on a mini vacation where you just imagine being someplace special or peaceful, as though you're maybe, you can even recall a vacation if you want, wherever you want to go. And I know I've talked about this before in other videos, and that's a really great way to get that experience of using your own consciousness to have a pleasant experience, because it can help you to feel more pleasant in your mind and your body to get those benefits. Now, some people are more of a traditionalist with meditation, and they want to maybe just focus on the breath and just keep coming back to the breath, maybe repeating a mantra or a meaningful word or phrase or short prayer on the out breath. It's nice to pair it on the out breath, because that's when the body physiologically relaxes, so that you can condition yourself to that word. So one that I've used over a lot over the years is the word peace. So on the out breath, I'm just reciting the word peace over and over with each breath out. And no matter what happens, and this is also a great tip for meditation, is that when we have those thoughts and those feelings come up, rather than thinking we need to push them away, just to notice them, acknowledge them, have an oh well attitude. So you're not judging yourself for having those thoughts, right? Because we have thoughts. And to just come back to what you're focusing on. And that's really a great word with meditation, is focus. Where are you putting your attention? Okay. And this can help you with your meditation practice, so that you can come back to your breath, to that focus point, and just keep following that for maybe a minute, 5 minutes, and then maybe over a week or two, you're extending that maybe a few times a week to maybe even daily, to 5 or 10 minutes or longer. And the more that you sit with that and you allow those thoughts and those feelings to come and go, maybe imagine it like a cloud in the sky, just drifting in front of you and then just moving away, because these experiences will come and go. And also with these feelings, to just let them come and go and to come back to your focus, you're going to settle in more with that and experiment with that and just see how that goes for you. Another great meditation for working with these thoughts and emotions that seem to kind of get in our way. I've studied neuroscience and neurology for becoming an occupational therapist, and we had to study the neurons and how fast they can be and how quick they can be. And I really do think that it is those connections, right? Those thoughts, those memories. I think it really is slowing down those connections. And a nice way to be with them also, if you wanted, is to practice mindfulness meditation, where you are simply coming to a place within yourself, first and foremost, of non-judgment as best you can, so that you're just simply stepping back and observing your experiences, your inner and outer life, from a place of non-judgment, and allowing those thoughts and feelings to come and go without getting caught up in them can be really helpful as well. So in that respect, rather than pushing them away or labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong, you are allowing them to simply be. And by just observing your feelings and your sensations connected to the thoughts from a place of non-judgment, what's really fascinating is that usually in time, they start to lessen. So rather than thinking, oh, I need to stop feeling the way that I feel, it's compassionately, with love and care, observing those feelings while simultaneously feeling them. So let's say that maybe you're feeling some sadness. Maybe you've had some loss lately, or maybe you want to spend time with a friend, but they're not available this weekend, or maybe you just broke up with somebody, or it could be anything, it could be very, very minor or more significant. And to just notice where in your body you feel that sadness. How do you know you have sadness? Usually there's an area in our bodies or several areas where we experience the feeling or the sensation of that sadness. And to just allow yourself to feel that while simultaneously observing it with love and compassion. So those are just some simple ways to be with your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions without saying I'm a bad meditator, because I've heard that from so many people over the years. And I think that if we can just give ourselves permission that it's okay to have whatever experience occurs during meditation, and to really come to it from that place of non-judgment and that openness, and just allowing to have whatever happens and to be with what happens, that if you sit with that long enough, which is why most meditation teachers will want you to sit for, well, usually, I mean, you can start for 5 to 10 minutes, but I think you can start to really notice that mud become more clear, maybe at about 15, 20 minutes or more. And the longer that you sit with that, and the more that you start to feel what that's like to have that opening happen from that tension of those thoughts and those feelings and worrying, maybe even wondering or thinking about or planning the rest of your day, what am I going to eat later? Things like that. Who am I going to spend time with? Am I going to spend time alone? What activities am I going to engage in? Do I want to do something more active or more restful? That you can really come into that place that a lot of people are looking for with meditation, which is generally a sense of more serenity, feeling more peaceful, more calm, more relaxed. And just know that even if you've been meditating for many months or years, it's possible and probable that you'll have days where you don't get into that state, that same Zen, place of feeling that serenity or that relaxation. I do also have in my book tips on how to have a successful meditation practice. And so I think that doing something active before your meditation, or maybe some gentle stretching. And yoga is actually traditionally practiced this way, so that you can sit and meditate or commune with God, whatever your beliefs are around that, so that you can get that kind of that extra energy out and be able to just simply be. And to also be aware of, not being too hungry or too full before you meditate. And maybe even writing out if you have a lot of things on your mind, or you have many ideas in your mind of a to-do list. Maybe write down. I've done this before. This is really helpful to just jot down. I'm a to-do lister. I usually make my to-do list in the morning or whenever something comes in my mind to make sure that I accomplish it. But so that you get that down on paper, so that when you're in your meditation, you don't have to keep thinking about it. Or, there's no rules around this. If you are meditating and you keep having thoughts coming up, maybe you jot them down to just kind of set them aside so that you can then come back and sit in your meditation. So I hope this was helpful. And I really think that this is a myth a lot of people have about meditation, and we need to dispel it and to know that meditation is something that's natural to all of us. We've been doing this since we were young children. And it's just really a way to come and to be with ourselves. Another great way to meditate is to simply go out and sit in nature. Rather than thinking you maybe have to follow a particular meditation script, although that can be very helpful. And it's a great way to strengthen your discipline with focus and attention, and then intention, so that you can really harness your thoughts and your mind. But you can just simply maybe go to your favorite place in nature and just sit there. This is why people go out and sit next to trees, lean up against a tree, or, maybe if there's a beautiful body of water near you where you can just sit and watch the water or the nature or the animals, or maybe going for a walk and just enjoying the scenery and just really letting yourself be in commune with nature that way. If you're in an environment where you're not able to get out physically or it's not as convenient for some reason, then you can imagine being someplace in nature, which is why I mentioned the special place imagery. That's a great imagery meditation for connecting wherever you would like to imagine yourself being, so that you can help shift your thoughts away from areas that might be distracting for you, so that you can help settle that mud and make the mind more clear and the body and the consciousness more clear. And yes, those are on YouTube. So the abdominal breathing, the progressive relaxation, the special place, and then I have a mindfulness meditation as well. There's other ones as well. So check them out and see what you might enjoy. And thank you so much for listening. And until then, be well. Namaste.